Are we on the verge of a bit of a squeeze for Shiba Inu and for some other assets in the crypto space? I noticed something very interesting here, and I want to break this down for people because what we've been watching during these past several months is really just assets moving from the hands of the impatient to the hands of the patient. We've been waiting for demand to reach price, and we're finally, I think, at that point of convergence in terms of Shiba Inu, and I want to show you guys exactly what I mean. So if you are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So in terms of Shiba Inu, we did have a red day yesterday. We were doing really well, but then the market kind of just crapped the bed yesterday. Later on in the day, and we actually closed down 1.32%. We're down 1.5% today. We're kind of just waiting now to see how the market's going to react through the weekend. We're waiting to see if Shiba Inu is going to kind of hold up in this upper range of structure against its 20-day moving average, or are we going to go down and maybe try to retest some of these lows, or even stop somewhere in between. That would not surprise me at all. And the reason why is we've been watching basically this happen for Shiba Inu in terms of demand, right? Demand has been going down. We know meme coin demand has been falling for quite some time. And as we've gotten down to these really low ranges, you started to see demand, instead of falling, kind of start to flatten out. And now we've actually watched just a little bit of rise in terms of demand. Now, why I'm saying that is we're seeing a few things change. First of all, whales started to get very active again. They are actively starting to accumulate. We are actually watching a holder expansion, which we've seen for a while, but it's actually starting to grow faster. We went from maybe, 100 wallets a day in terms of new holders to several hundred. So you're watching people be very comfortable at these ranges in terms of accumulation. And so at the same time that we were watching demand fall, we were watching price fall, right? And then there always needs to be a point of convergence where basically your demand starts to flip price. And that's what we've started to see. That's why SHIB had such a strong rally out of these ranges, because it was a true discount zone. Again, remember, if we look back, we got very close to this fire sale range, right? And we've been in this opportunity zone that we identified back here in early 2024 as well. And coincidentally enough, we kind of nestled in. It was almost a hard bounce right off the bottom of that. So this is a zone that we identified back here that there's huge opportunity in. And again, this isn't to guarantee or financial advice or anything like that. That's just what we kind of pointed out at the time. And so now we're at this point where we might be on the verge of a bit of squeeze. And why I'm saying that is we're watching this supply just drop across the crypto market while demand is rising, and while price has finally gotten to a comfortable range. That tends to send things that direction, right? Now, again, this isn't a guarantee. I'm not saying this is going to happen for sure, because we can obviously watch the market just kind of crap the bed again. You can watch the negative sentiment kind of take back over. You can see the PTSD kick in. You can see us erase all these gains. But again, we're sitting on very thick levels of liquidity. The order books have filled in a very strong way where there's a lot of buying pressure below here. This is what you want to see in terms of SHIB. And again, this is why we've been talking about SHIB setting a pretty strong floor while other assets are kind of trying to navigate their way, if that makes sense. Now, what we've also witnessed in terms of BTC and other assets in the same space, or in the same other assets in the same way, is watch exchange supply just dwindle. People are just taking advantage of all the opportunity that they can to get cheap assets. And I'm not sure if this is a glitch or not in terms of BTC, because what this shows is basically 500,000 BTC removed in just a couple days from exchanges. And maybe this was just a move to another wallet. Maybe this was a true drop in terms of supply. But regardless, we're watching supply drop and drop and drop. We're seeing this for SHIB. We're seeing this for other assets. So what I find very interesting is people, they just choose not to acknowledge that at some point there is going to be a supply shock for SHIB, for other assets in the space. I want to remind everybody, in terms of Shiba Inu, there's like 14% of the available SHIB on exchanges. Most people have pulled into cold storage. Most people are unwilling to dump their bags. And what tends to happen following that? If demand rises, price tends to surge, and you can see liquidations take place, a lot of these things that we've talked about, right? And now we've gotten to this point where the market is trying to determine a pivot here. In fact, there are some pretty big entities that are suggesting, if I could find it, that we might be on the verge of a BTC rally back to 100K. BTC got pretty exciting over the last few days, got up to what, about 92, was it? Yeah, 93K or so. So we're still watching BTC do exactly what SHIB is doing here, fighting that 20-day moving average. Haven't gotten a confirmed flip yet. But as we get through the weekend and get into the early part of next week, Maybe some of the macro data lifts us. Maybe the speech by Jerome Powell on Monday gives us a little bit of wind in our sails. The problem is there's a lot of people that are being overly negative right now when a lot of the news cycle is turning positive. And so those two things, they don't intertwine, right? One of them has got to win. And it seems like the news cycle, which is very long-term pro-crypto things, is probably going to take over at some point and get the people that have lost conviction, that have moved to the sidelines in terms of the crypto market, which is the reason why we've seen USDT dominance fly all the way back up above 6%. At some point, the news cycle is going to make that happen, right? But we'll have to watch and wait and see when that is. Maybe that is getting into next week. Maybe that's sometime in December. Maybe that's 2026. But we'll just have to watch and wait and see how things shake out. Again, I'm very comfortable with where SHIB is at. I'd like maybe one more sweep to the downside, just to kind of accumulate more in this range here, some prices that we haven't seen in a very long time. But that's just my I think wishful thinking at this point. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. But have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.